Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Contest of Speed EU2. We are at the lovely sunny Interlagos circuit in Sao Paulo, Brazil, for round 3 of the season 17 championship. X427 has just put the fastest lap of the session in, and Red Panda has already retired from the session, which isn't a fantastic sign. That is Red Panda. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know what's happened there. Hopefully that doesn't happen again during the race, but we'll go from there. We have 12 drivers this evening. A new reserve driver in Barry, who is in the Red Bull. Other than that, we've got 11 of the current grid out there at the moment. You're fine, you're still a young spring chicken, I suppose. D Summers has just done a 108.8 second quicker than X427 in the Kick Sauber. Barry has just gone purple sector 2. And then puts on time with 108.2. Jeepers, that is pretty rapid. If you ask me, we had Herman last week that was pretty rapid and was a second and a bit quicker than everybody else on the grid. Hopefully this will not be the same. If not, Barry's going to be asked to move up on Thursday. Well, it's easy. You take the year 97 and then you'll work it out from there. Chevy's about to finish his lap, 110.5 on board. Interested to see how the likes of King Luke will do. I'm going to put a bit of pressure on Luke and go on for his out lap. He's just about to start his hot lap round Sao Paulo. DRS. He's already used quite a fair chunk of battery as we head into the Senna S's. Pretty neat and tidy through there. Dose of overtake on the exit. The PRS coming up once again. Down. Straight. I will learn the names meanwhile. Keeps it nice and tidy. So far through turn 6 we'll be able to throw it pretty quickly. Back end wanting to step up for the heavy braking zone ahead of us. Sector 2, nice technical patience on the throttle, keeping that rear end in check for another slightly heavy braking zone. And then we've literally got one more corner to go really, because everything else is flat out. Jinsao as we speak. Missed the apex a little bit on the inside there. Still got a bit of battery to utilise on the right then to the hill. Hugging the inside as close as we can, and Luke does a 109.3. That is a very quick lap round Brazil. Such a short circuit. Luke has found himself a second off the time so far. Mira's just put himself up into 1.885, so someone I would like to have a look at when he does his second run on board with Shane. Meanwhile, we want to improve on last week. I think last week for him was very much a just a learning experience, getting ready to race in the game once again. Good to see Shane back, actually. Former co-commentator alongside myself. Now I get to have an hour each week to trash talk Shane, and Shane's done 110.3. How are we feeling? It's not supposed to. On board then with partner in crime Austin. And Austin is about to finish his first lap, a bit like Shane last week, just trying to get back into the swing of things. These guys have been here before. It's just getting used to racing. And 109.2 then for Austin the Monkey. So everybody's set a time other than Cygate, other than Red Panda. Red Panda's had an early qualifying. On and that Andre we're going to see Andre's got a Red Bull of I believe Barry behind him, so we've been giving our provisional pole sitter a bit of a tow at the moment. Honest answer, Lewis, no, because I think you're far too quick. We had Herman last week, who we had to kind of move up because he was like a second quicker than everyone else, and most of the EU1 boys last week were quicker than what he was. So yeah, apologies. Keen to see that you want to race, fantastic, but yeah, you have to wait until Thursday, I'm afraid, for your race. Andre's still on lap. Oh, he's just cut the corner low, and Barry is behind. So I don't know if he's going to jump out the way or not. Probably not. He's got a good toe, because I think Andre's going to try and go again, but Barry's come into the pits. X427 meanwhile obviously backed out that lap. He's going to go for a double push, double out lap, and then a push lap. X427 has Chevy. How is Chevy getting on? Not improving. Andre also not improving on that lap. I think he's just done that lap actually. So a few guys stayed in the pits and didn't do a second run as of yet. And Chevy's going to go again then through the center S's. Head around up to the finish line. Sorry, just trying to do something at the same time. DRS wide open. Looks a better run then from the Ferrari man, and could see him into the 1 minute 9. There you go, that's a lot better. 109.5. for Chevy then in the Ferrari. We'll head over to Seagate because we haven't seen Seagate do a lap as of yet. There I called him one of the veterans of contest of speed. He's done quite a few seasons now, bless him. Good to see Seagate return again in season 17 in his trusty old Red Bull, which he's been pretty much in since the get-go. So Seagate then starting his first timed lap of the session with just over 3 minutes to go or so, I think. It's still got the yellow flag out in sector 2 or 3, so we can't really see the time at the moment. Has done an 18.1 purple first sector. I think that would be only personal best though so far. Through turn 10. Pico de Pato. I'm really going to absolutely butcher some of these names tonight. Mergolo, then Junsao, which is turn 12, and then after this is pretty easy. Apparently there's 3 more corners. That's 13, that's 14, and that's 15, even though they're all flat out and pretty much to the line, and does a 10 flat for Seagate. Luke, meanwhile, is behind him, I think. Oh, perfect timing. Luke has just dropped it in there, but he'll have enough time to go again. The kick salver then is about to finish his lap. That is X427 and does a 109.2, so half a second improvement. We saw last week that being on the track at the right time was quite important. EU2 unfortunately had a dry to intermediate qualifying last week, so those that left it late then struggled because of the track was getting wet. However, it was a dry race and it was a slightly chaotic one, so if you want to go and watch that, you're more than welcome to. That's back on the Twitch channel and the YouTube channel. Meanwhile, Mira is backing out. I want to see a lap with Mira at some point. I will head to D Summers. Not seen much from the Williams man. Finished in P2 last week. And currently, I want to say currently leads the way in terms of the championship, but I'm not too sure about that. No, it doesn't. That is Tichy who's not here. So Pipe Tech could take the lead this evening because Tichy and Moncho are not here. So perfect opportunity for the likes of D Summers, the likes of Luke, who are behind. As D Summers then half a second improvement. The Daddy 86, thank you for the follow. I've seen somebody else has followed as well to this evening. Thank you. Hope you enjoying it. There's a few of you guys that race in other leagues that support some of these guys, so thank you for being here. Shield 0423, thank you as well. D Summers improves 4 tenths up to a 108.4. So Barry's time is getting closed down. Mirror has finished with 108.3. Is Barry improving nearly 2 tenths through the first sector. We will see if he's improving through the middle sector. He's got the Haas of Andre in front of him, and it's slight lost a little bit of loss of time through that middle sector, so it's not been purple so far. But we could see a time sneak into the 107s. No, not quite. Lost it gained it all through the first sector, but not through the last couple. Pipe Tech has just put himself into the 109.2s as well. Who else is on a lap? I think it's just D Summers. Everybody else is finished. So D Summers finishes that last time around, so he won't be completing this one. So that is qualifying. Barry and Mira and D Summers then by the looks of things, and then we've got the small gaggle of Luke, Pipe Tech, Austin, X427, Andre and Jevy then, like what we saw last week in the race. And then we got Saiga and Shane just lagging a little bit behind. Red Panda's kept his cards close to his chest, and we shall see the speed of the Panda hopefully during the race. So, like last week, the new reserve steps in and goes to pole position. That is Barry. He's taken his first provisional pole, first pole of contest of speed, mirror in P2, and D Summers close behind in P3. Then we've got a gap to Luke, then a gap to Pipe Tech, Austin, X427, Andre and Jevy, then a little bit of gap to Sygate and Shane, and as I said, Red Panda didn't complete a qualifying lap. Let's see what the race... Oh my goodness me. Well, I can see why nobody really... So is it going to dry out then? If people were saving a set of softs, that possibly... Is it going to dry out, Andre? Can you tell me that? That'd be great. Get some inside information down at the Haas garage. So it is very wet. It looks like it's going to be the wet tyres as well. No intermediates to start off with. Dynamic weather is in play in contest of speed. For those of you that are new to the league and new to viewing us for the first time, it is a dynamic weather system. 50% race though, so we will be seeing just over half race distance completed. That is the countdown timer I can hear, which means we are nearly ready to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights for round 3, and away we go. Shane's already jumped the start. He's got a drive-through penalty. I would have just bowled off straight away. Barry, meanwhile, maintains the lead to D Summers, who's finding out. But Luke Mira's not had a great start. Already dropped down 2 positions, possibly 3 to Austin the Monkey. At the moment, everybody else is pointing in the correct direction, which is good. Everyone on the wet tyres so far. Mira down to P5 already. Could be P6. Not a great start for the Haas driver. Could be P7 by the time he gets out of turn 3. Oh, and that looks... Is that front wing or is that just a bollard? I hope it's just a bollard. So Mira down to P7 already in front of his teammate of Andre. X427 looks like that was a massive lag spy. Shane, meanwhile, pushed to the outside of Chevy's back end, stepping out all into the side of Sygate. A lot of these guys skidding round already, easy on the throttle. That's what we've got to do so far. And Chevy, Sygate's got the place on Chevy. As I said, everybody on the wet tyres, so we don't need to do that. We'll look at the position changes as we are finishing lap 1 of 36. Round spot. Oh my goodness me, D Summers has gone well off, sliding off. And I'm amazed he's not lost any front wing. That is a poo your pants moment. Hopefully he's got a change of underwear for him. And I will need to see that clip of you doing that later, D Summers, in the EU2 chat. So a few of the guys look to me haven't got wet setups on. A lot of rear back ends of the cars stepping out. Big loser was their Mira off the start. Everybody's kind of settled down a little bit to get to grips. Austin Monkey and Sygate made up 2 places each. Speaking of Sygate, he is closely to the back of Mira once again. Mira under pressure. I don't know what that is they're kicking up at the end of at the exit of that corner. Sygate's gained in between the two Haas drivers at the moment. Our leader Barry's got a 1.4 second lead, bolted on the first lap, but more of a response from the two behind. No DRS in these wet conditions. X427 running deep there, and putting pressure on the kick Sauber. Yeah, I don't know what these fragments are they're kicking out. I don't know whether that's the floor hitting the ground. Meanwhile, Pipe Tech has just gone off, so all of a sudden it's going to get close between Pipe Tech and everybody else. X427 looking to go around the outside, and there is Mirror as well. Sygate on the inside of the Haas driver. Sygate down the inside, but Mirror's going to try and fight this one out. Compromises low his line through the second part of the centre S is Sygate, the rear end stepping out there, so Mirror's got a better drive onto the back of Pipe Tech. Meanwhile, Shane, I think, is battling out with Chevy. Oh, there was contact between the two, and Chevy's in the wall, but hopefully no front wing damage. Sygate under pressure. Pipe Tech then runs wide. Mirror goes to the inside through 4. It's fairly frantic behind. This is kind of what the gap we saw last week, the split in this tier a little bit. There's a couple of quicker guys, as you can see. The top 4 have escaped. X427 is now the leader of the chasing peloton, as I'm going to call it. Chevy has gone back past Shane. Shane is not liking turn to 8? Sorry, no, exit turn 9 he's not liking at all. We're going to keep on board with the lower end of the grid. We'll go on board with Andre. He's the closest person on track. D. Summers puts in a fast step of the race, 25.6. Closes the gap to Barry under the second. Visibility's not too bad. At the moment, it's just under braking, as you see with Pipe Tech rear end of the car getting loose. Shane in the pits, that's his drive-through penalty, 7 laps. So he was with the pack. So in terms of pace, we'll be getting all over the curb there, Andre, because that's going to put you under pressure to Chevy behind. Lots of locking up. Pipe Tech seems to be struggling in terms of braking out there of this mid-pack. Austin is closing in on Luke. Luke's got that gap to D Summers stabilised a little bit for the time being. 2.2 seconds is that gap. D Summers has managed to close in on Barry within a second, so the reserve not running away with it at the moment, which is good. We saw Harman last week. They go trade for fastest lap this time around. Austin the Monkey wants a bit of that action as well. He's done a 25.3, X427 25.1. Bringing that gap down to 3.6 seconds is the kick Sauber driver. Once those guys behind stop fighting it out, hopefully that will sort it out. Shane has just slightly had a half spin. Don't think the yellow flag was necessarily there, to be fair. At the moment it's as you were. It's just calmed down for a moment, but in these tricky conditions the calm won't last for that long. Mira has got himself back inside 1 second to X427. He's not had a great lap so far. That gap was 3.6. It's now grown to 4.3. We will head to see how the monkey's doing. The monkey is on the charge. And Luke is under pressure a little bit, but not a great exit out of Chingsao for Austin. Barry's responded to D Summers and done a 25 flat. Cygate and Mirror. Mirror's coming back at Cygate. Again, he's going to hold that tighter line on the inside. He's going to compromise though his drive. Luckily, no DRS at the moment, so maybe a little bit easier to defend. If Mirror made that kind of move, if it was dry, he's definitely struggling down into turn 4 at Pacific Gallardo. Quite difficult corner here, Ferradura in turn 7. Kind of evening out a bit. Panna's dropping off the back. I have a feeling he may not have a setup because of what happened in qualifying. Shane, meanwhile, stabilising that gap considering he had a drive-through. So it'll be interesting to see how his progress is. Anybody could retire at any point. So even if you're right at the back, points will still be available if we have a couple of retirements. It's the closest Cygate is to anybody else on the track, and he's looking to the outside. Mirror's going to try to defend the inside, but Cygate looks to try and switch back there. That's not quite going to make the move. Is he going to set it up into 4? No, not a great first bit or second bit. In particular, Barry has responded to D Summers' mini assault, and it's now back up to 1.7 seconds. Luke's dropping off, not massively, but Austin will be keeping an eye on that gap to himself. Luke and D Summers in front. And X427 after an interesting lap managed to get that gap back down to 5-4 seconds. We're looking at the battle behind him. Between Mirror and Cygate. Andre's dropped out of DRS to pipe tech for the first time in a while. Oh, and Mirror's had a good middle sector. Cygate, as we saw, sliding on through. 27 struggling in the middle part of the lap. Oh God, there is a lag spike and a half. Barry 24.8. I think the kickstart was good in the straight line, but it looks to be better for Mirror in the corners. Oh my God, it's all over the place. If I was Mirror, if there's a gap there, I'm going to just pin it out to the best. Has now settled down off the 4 start. Red Panda has come in, made a stop. Keeping on gap to lead. Just want to see how people are doing in terms of race pace, in terms of the leaders, and if they are getting held up. So it's just climbing at the moment. This is the closest battle out on track. We've still got Austin behind Luke as we speak. I think Mirror possibly would go for it this time around. He's on the overtake. He's got a lot more battery than the kick salver in front of him. I think Shane's had a bit of a off that lap because he's in trouble. Meanwhile, Mirror is going to go for it this time. Overtake is on down into turn 4, and X127 is going to try and hang it round the outside. I don't think there's going to be much grip out there. Shane's got 3 seconds, but it probably won't be the only one because I've seen a lot of people lose track rate. So can Mira close the gap to the guys in front? That is sitting around 4.2 seconds at this moment in time. Our leader slightly slower on that lap. Both Austin and Luke just pondering around. They're going to be careful though, because that gap is increasing. 4.4 seconds now between Luke and the top two, so it could turn into a very quick 2-horse race. D Summers has responded and done a 24.8. That's why the gap has got itself down to 1.5 seconds. Luke dives in, releases Austin, so Austin's going to need to pump in these laps then to try and get out ahead of Luke, see if the overcut will work. But we looked at it last week, how strong the undercut was for these guys. Will it be the same in wet conditions? We've got a yellow flag there. Shane spinning. He's not like that corner at all. It's just for Jin Sal's losing it on the entry a little bit there. Sidegate is now stuck behind X427, so Mira's managed to get a gap between himself and the Kicksauber whilst maintaining the gap to himself and Austin. Sidegate is under fueled. Why are we not surprised? Oh, is he going to go for a switchback through? That's filthy. He has. He's got the move. He's got the move done for the time being. That was a filthy move there from Sidegate through turn 11. From Mugello, of all places. Austin Monkey has responded to Luke. X427 has come in. Kind of not surprised by that because of the last couple of laps. Pipe check 10 seconds in, speeding in the pit lane. That's going to massively impact his battle with the likes of Andre and Jevi. So where is Luke? We see Austin on the inside. He's trying not to lose it on exit. Shane spun again. Hopefully that doesn't bring out a VSC. Austin's going to try and get the power down. Luke to the outside. We're going to run side by side as we head down towards turn 4. The McLaren alongside the Racing Bull, and the McLaren just tucks in behind, so Austin couldn't quite get it done that time around. Luke did burn a bit more battery that lap to stay ahead. Now, interestingly, people, have a look. You can see it in the top right hand corner of your graphic. Look what they've come in on and what they've gone back out on. So I will get the tyre graphic up because some people have made that stop. Everybody that's made the stop other than X427 has gone onto the intermediate tyre. Oh, X427's stayed out on the wet tyre. That's interesting. So we will keep an eye with the gap to lead. See what these intermediates do. Luke is faster, a lot faster. Luke is nearly a second or so quicker than what our leaders are doing. The gap all of a sudden down to 25 seconds. A few of these guys will be listening to the stream whilst they are driving at the same time. Just be careful, guys, out front. The intermediates could be the better tyre. Unless you're trying to brave it out until it stops completely. But be careful. Intermediates on the charge at the moment. Barry and D Summers separated by 1.3 seconds. That's a really slow moving Andre, I think. Andre's made a bit of a mistake through that corner. We saw it in the picture up ahead. Barry does come in. Austin 1.8 seconds quicker. Chevy ducks down to the inside. Luke's trying to get the teeth. Luke's going to go around the outside. So is Austin. So Barry is in the pits. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to possibly see a change for the net lead. Pipe Tech has had a bit of a spin. Barry tiptoeing round. And I tell you what, there's Luke. There's Austin. And Barry's behind them. That is one for the books, ladies and gentlemen. Who saw that coming? Barry is coming quite a way behind him, so D Summers has to respond, hasn't got a choice. Unless it stops raining now. Gap is coming down all the time, so D Summers has pitted. I kind of feel Nero needs to respond as well. Shane dropped it out of the pits. I think he has. Oh no, he hasn't, just dropped it into the pits. So everybody is stopping. There is your tyres of choice. And meanwhile, we're going to see D Summers. There's King Luke to the inside. Can D Summers though stay ahead of Barry? And I tell you what, it's going to be really close on the exit. D Summers losing a little bit of traction. No, Barry's closing in, and D Summers has leapfrogged Barry. Unbelievable. So D Summers was behind him for about 1.5 seconds through that first stint, and now he's come out ahead of Barry. For more, unbelievably, is the guys at 5 seconds. It was nearly 5 seconds, that gap behind them. And Luke and Austin have both come out behind him. Austin still tucked up behind Luke. So we're going to see a four-way fight for the win at this moment in time. Give it a couple of laps when D Summers and Barry start learning where they can brake, where the best traction, where the better lines are on the intermediate tyre. You can see that dry line forming around the circuit. Looked alright. Oh, so he's saying he can't switch modes, he's just having to use overtake. Overtake and none then. It's not too bad. I think you'll be running none through the middle sector anyway and using it down the straight, so I don't know why that is a thing. It's got nothing to do with the lobby, that is just unfortunate. Although he's just gone to medium. So that has to change something. That seemed to have worked. He's now on medium instead of none, so we will see what happens. And meanwhile, Miro still hasn't come in, although he's just put in a personal best middle sector. So despite how he started the race, yep, just done a personal best. That was 1:23.9. Let's see what Luke does in response. Luke's done a 2:22.9 for Oscar, 2:22.7 for. Oh, sorry, 1:22.7 for Barry even. All these four kind of lapping about the same pace. I have a feeling I have a race engineer in the chat down at Red Bull. I do like information I receive because it will pop up and I will see it. And we can talk about it. Austin all over the back of Luke, not looking to take the lead of the race at the moment. If I was you, Austin, I would, because D Summers is closing and Barry is closing behind as well. X427 has just picked up a track limit penalty. That will be for the outside of turn 7. And Austin, there you go, down the inside of Junsell, and has taken the lead of the race for the first time. Pipe Tech down in P11. It's just put in a 22.5 for Pipe Tech. Now Lynn Luke, can you get back at Austin? But you could be under pressure here from D Summers and of Barry. Both kind of parted ways, all 4 of them there. And Austin then hit the front. I think we could see possibly D Summers mount an attack on Barry. Oh, X427 speeding in the pit lane. The wet tyres did not work. It will be the intermediates he's going to have to put on. And all of a sudden now, Austin has a 1 second, round of 1 second lead to Luke. D Summers getting pushed there by Barry through turn 6 and 7. Oh, back end of the Red Bull kicking out. 4 different constructors fighting their way through for possibly the win. Austin's checked out big time. 1.7 seconds for the monkey. Still 12 drivers in the race. Austin's put a 21.9. Open that gap out to Luke. D Summers hasn't got a response to get past Luke for the time being. It does look like between the centre S's and the run down to Ticino Colado is the way to go for D Summers at the moment down the Retaprosta. Still no way through at the moment, and Austin is escaping corner by corner. Still, Luke leads this trio, and this trio is dropping away lap by lap. Austin's shown some great pace. The question we then have to ask, are the intermediates going to go to the end of the race? Syget's just pumped in a 21.1 from nowhere. Chevy's coming off his wets as well. It's not worked out for Chevy. Red Panda is up into P9. Is the Panda, considering what happened at the start. So we've got our leader Austin's nearly 4 seconds ahead of Luke. Then we've got these 3. Then Syget and Mirror quite close to each other. Andre's in quite lonely race by himself. And then we're looking at the likes of X427 possibly going out with Panda, and then Chevy's going to come out ahead, just ahead of Pipetech, who seems a lot more happier on those set of tyres. We just passed. The shame is. So nothing has really happened too much after our first round of stops. The question is, A, is it going to get dry enough, or is it going to stop raining to then get dry enough for the slick tyre? Or, and the other question is, are the intermediates going to make it to the end? D Summers dives to the inside. That's probably caught Luke off a little bit off guard. Didn't quite get it stopped though. Nice first attempt by the Wins. First sign of possibly a little bit of desperation, because they're just getting held up here by Luke. But Luke seems to have an answer. Andre is made a mistake coming out of the Senna S's down the Retroposta, and that looks to be a VSC, not a safety car. I'm just saying how Andre is going to have a really lonely race at the moment, and unfortunately, a lap or so later, Andre is out. It's fine. Your English is probably better than the language that you speak. Than my attempt at the language that you speak, even. And even my English sometimes isn't very good, and I'm English. What do you thought? Oh, X427 drives through for speeding under the VSC. You hate to see it, really. And that's possibly going to put him down. Definitely was. It's going to put him definitely behind Panda. It's going to now see if he's going to be ahead of Chevy Insane. Shane, can you try and keep it on the track through Jinsao, please? I appreciate the rallycross afterwards, but come on, you got 15 laps or so to make it. You could get a point here if someone else crashes. Meanwhile, out front, that gap's grown to 5 seconds. Austin in charge of the Brazilian Grand Prix at the moment. Frustration for the two behind. They had looked. The thing was, early stages, Barry and D Summers did look quicker than Austin and Luke. We knew Austin couldn't quite get past Luke and was getting stuck behind. So Austin now showing his true pace, now leading the race. But we did see over time the gap did stabilise between Barry and D Summers to Luke and Austin, so the pace was there to match them. Austin at the moment is surpassing these guys by quite a bit, 5.8 seconds. It seems to be about 8 or 9 tenths a lap at the moment, and it's definitely Luke that seems to be the bottle, but every now and then just seems to put away. Barry's about clinging on now. He's got that ERS problem kind of sorted. Cygate lingering in the background. Under 14 seconds for the first time, and he's dragging Mira along with him. Then meanwhile we have X427, Chevy, Pipetech, Panda. Shane's not too far behind either, so we've definitely got I say Shane's not too far behind. A lap interval to lead us with that down. So we'll head back to the battle for P2. It rains on, and so does it continue to do on this Interlagos circuit. D Summers is making a move on King Luke then through turn 10. Got a bit fed up waiting for what was going to happen, so hopefully D Summers can now put the hammer down. 7 seconds though, the gap has grown. And to be honest, that's kind of caught me out. It's kind of caught Luke out a bit there as well. I wasn't expecting him to make the move there, but there you go. D Summers is now ahead. Will Luke try and look to respond? He is trying to look to respond. D Summers having to hold the middle of the road for the time being. And hopefully now can just use the better exit he gets through the centre S's compared to what Luke does. That has been his strength, but Luke's going to be a bit more top end speed for Luke. So that's things on that racing bull. These ones now see, can he close the gap to Austin, or is it Austin that's just quicker than these three behind? Meanwhile, Cygate 4.7 seconds. That gap is closing. It's not miles away. It was 6 seconds a couple of laps ago. Cygate making great progress to the top 4. Mirror is staying with him as well, so really good from these two. Once they calmed down a little bit after the open up, they've been pretty much next to each other the entire race so far. Mirror obviously prefer it to be the other way around, considering where it started on the grid compared to Cygate. 3.7 now the gap. Good middle sector from Cygate. It's going to probably pump in a personal best for himself on the race. Barry, meanwhile, all tucked up behind Luke. Luke's not had a great middle sector or the start of the third sector. Barry's looking lifts away in that, but at the moment still stuck behind the racing bull. Barry, Red Bull down the inside. Luke's going to let this go, possibly switch back underneath, but parked on the apex. Will Luke then attack into down the Retroposta? Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Cygate 2.6 seconds behind. Mirrors following is good from these two. Luke now in a little bit of bother, to be honest. Shane's picked up 3 seconds. That doesn't matter at the moment. Now then, Barry's got him. 2.6 seconds is the gap. That's what's made the difference. The gap up front, meanwhile, has stabilised to about 7.5 seconds. So D Summers is on the same pace as Austin. Oh no! And King Luke's dropped it on the exit of turn 10. There goes Mirror. There goes Cygate as well. Did say Luke was under pressure. Luckily, massive gap behind to X427. Jebby, meanwhile, having his own battle with Pipe Tech. Pipe Tech on the 12 lap old intermediate. It's not the oldest out there, but Luke's are. So are Austin's. Luke's come in. I did think this would be the case because of the tyre wear. We're probably expecting another set of intermediates to go on to the racing bulls. Meanwhile, Mirror is all over the back of Cygate, looking now to attack the Red Bull. They've worked really well to get close to Barry. Oh, and Cygate, has he run deep? He has run deep, left the door open then for Mirror, but then uses that overtake to go round the outside to keep hold of that position. 2.6 seconds is the gap. D Summers not had a great first sector compared to Austin. Austin on 15 lap old medium intermediates. The reason why I'm saying it is because Red Panda's just dropped it. I think, or is he? No, he has dropped it. He's probably also going to let the leaders pass as well. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if these guys can make the intermediates last to the end of the race. They would do about 20 odd laps or so. Mirror is closing in on Cygate. Mirror to the outside. Can he force Cygate into a mistake? Cygate with a little bit of a half spin. They've dropped back a little bit more on this lap to Barry. It was 2.5. Cygate runs really wide though through the second part of the centre rest, drifting quite beautifully actually. Mirror to the inside then. Right, can the Haas now close to the gap to Barry? Gap is 3.3 seconds. It has grown the last couple of laps. What is Luke up to? What can Luke do? Oh, that'd be Shane. Yep. Not like that corner at all the entire race. So Luke is making his way through the middle sector. I'm going to see if the intermediates are doing anything for him. Kind of, but not really enough. Mira's got that gap down to 3 seconds. D Summer has got it back below 8 seconds again. So lots of toing and throwing. As the Racing Bull Red Panda on 6 lap old intermediates trying to unlap himself in Sidegate. For those wondering why it's a ghosted car. Penalties wise, let's have a look. Dexwell 27, 13 seconds. Red Panda 3, Shane 9. Those two at the back's not really going to influence their races affecting anyone else. X-World 270, 13 seconds, which isn't going to be enough. That's going to drop into P9 as it stands if we stop the race right here, right now. And Sidegate's dropped off the back of Mirror. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's calmed down quite a bit at the moment. And Shane enjoying the last sector once again. He's persisting on, however. Sidegate's the one that looks to be struggling. He's still under-fueled, remember. I think he's the only driver to do so. Austin just coasting his way through. That's still got full battery. 8.4 seconds. It's like the intermediates, no matter how old they are, not making a big difference. Mirror is closing on to the back of Barry. He's definitely settled down after the first 6 or 7 laps. He was a little bit all over the place. .1 seconds is now the gap. And closing. Really strong performance here from the Haas driver, second half of the race. Still raining here at Interlagos. Has been since the start of the race for those that are joining us for the last closing stages of the race. Full wet conditions were in order to start. and then it has got a little bit dry. We've had this dry line and this kind of rain for pretty much the majority of the race, so the question is now for these guys, are they going to try and battle out towards the end? On the whole, it does look like it, with 6 laps to go. Not many takers to come in and pit. Luke's pitted, but it's not really worked out for him. He was getting overtaken as well. Was in this group with the likes of Austin, D. Summers, Barry and Mira, but not at the moment. Yellow flag, that'd be for Shane. Shane's not gone on with turn 12 at all race, which suggests to me that is a setup issue. I'm not going to say it's a skill issue, I'm not that horrible. Oh, so he's off at, where's that? Centre assist? Sorry, I'm slightly on Shane watch whilst we're waiting for something to happen. Mira, meanwhile, has now got this move on Barry. Barry, our pole sitter, down into P4 at the moment. Oh, I think that'd be a warning there for Mira. He's going to have to be careful now. Try and keep the back end of that car stable. Yeah, Barry was our pole sitter. Did look initially by quite a bit. I thought we were going to have another Harman from last week. Didn't. Mira was one of those to fight back. Got close, and D. Summers was up there, but Austin's really shown some great race pace once he managed to get past King Luke, who's now slipped down to P6 after stopping for a second time. He's doing a great job out there at the moment. 21 laps on those intermediates is the oldest by far. At the moment, that is a pipe tech, I think, facing the wrong way. Good thing we were ghosting on because he would have run straight into them. So he's now lost that position to Jevy, which has let X427 then off the hook with his penalties. Barry hasn't let Mira get away. And we have about 4 laps to go. D. Summers slightly responding to Austin. Think it could be too little too late. You know, Austin's tyres are at least 2 laps older than everybody else's that he has been fighting with. And Mira is on the youngest set of tyres. That is. We have had one VSC so far this race. That was for Andre, who was running quite nicely in P7, but was having quite a lone race. Other than that, there's not been too many incidents or front wings. Shane had a drive-through penalty for speeding. Sorry, not for speeding, for jumping the start. And X427 has had a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC that we had when Andre back and forth back out. But it has been pretty much as you were for a while. Austin up 5 places, Sygate also up 5 places. Big winners. Barry's and PipeTech are the bigger losers of the race, but still on for some decent points is Barry on his first reserve race for Contest of Speed. X427 is trying to make things interesting with himself and Chevy, because that's now 16 seconds worth of penalties with a 17-second gap. So trying to give us some late entertainment, not on track, but in terms of the timings. Austin has responded, and Mira, with those tyres, looks to be in the best shape of the 4 at the moment. Sygate was trying to charge with Mira, Mira got past him, but Sygate's not really been able to follow him for at all. Just now dropping off the back of his professional teammate for this evening, Barry. Two laps to go then, on board with Austin. Our race leader was in P4 before the stops, but himself and Luke decided to pit earlier than everybody else, and that seemed to have paid off for the moment. He has got a nice buffer to D Summers if he needs to take it easy tyre wear now. The only issue that's going to put himself between himself and his first victory of the season. Healthy points potentially heading away to McLaren. So for the overall constructors, that would mean good news for the McLaren boys. We're also propelling massively up that table, potentially into the championship lead, depending how the results go. It's going to be very close between himself and D Summers. They're also going to get not only his first podium with us, but also his first big points haul this season. Not scored any points so far in the opening 2 rounds, and has managed to kind of hold himself together after a difficult start. On for P3 as it stands, although unless he can have a grandstand finish with D Summers, as he's got within a second, he will give it a go. And it's nearly stopped raining, to be honest, out there. And all of a sudden, although D Summers has got that gap out front down to nearly 6 seconds, Miro is the one applying the pressure. He's doing the best he can at the moment. Pipe Tech and Chevy, we need to sort that out on this lap because Austin has just lapped them. And they're all over the back of D Summers. Oh, D Summers a little bit wide through, sorry, a little bit deep into turn 10. And I tell you what, this could be a drag race to the line between these two if they get it right. No DRS in place, so it's literally going to be the power back. However, Austin is about to cross the line and he will win the Brazilian Grand Prix round 3 of EU2. Congratulations to Austin. D Summers and Mira, meanwhile, D Summers defending the inside, and it's going to be close but not close enough. Mira probably need another lap. Well done to those two. Barry's going to finish ahead of Sygate. Luke's going to finish in P6. Didn't quite work out for Luke. Really struggled on those set of intermediates. Pitted and then couldn't really find the pace to catch back up. But P6 nonetheless. Luckily for X427, the guys behind him got lapped, so he will come home in P7 regardless. Shane's not finished. He has dropped it and crashed it into the wall right at the end. You silly goose. X427 looks to be pumping in his fastest lap of the race and will come across the line. And I think possibly still fastest lap, which you don't get a point for anyway. There we go. The McLaren on the top step. What we've been accustomed to this season in real life F1. Do that. my life easier for next week. Driver of the day, Austin the Monkey. Well, hard not to argue with the race leader. Saigate had the fastest lap and also the most overtakes from towards the rear of the grid. So well done to those two. Yep, Austin wins. Congratulations to Austin. That's going to move him up close. It's going to be quite close at the top of the championship. And we'll let you know next week for round 4 how that stands. D Summers P2 and Mirror P3 rounding off your podium. Barry in 4th, Saigate in 5th, Luke 6th, X4277 7th, Chevy in 8th, Pipe Tech 9th, and Panda rounding out the top 10. They'll get your points. Shane got classified, even though he was several laps down, and Andre was the only actual other retirement. There is no interviews, gentlemen. I have not had the time this week to sort out the Discord link with the Coscoms account. I will try and get that sorted so we can do interviews in the coming weeks. But what I can tell people is, unfortunately, that is the end of the stream. Thank you very much for joining us this week for round 3. These guys head to Jeddah next week, Saudi Arabia, round 4. Fast flowing, very tight street circuit with many concrete barriers, so we could see a couple of safety cars or two next week. They'll be at the same time at 9 p.m. UK time on a Tuesday. I will hand over to the next action would be our AM2 colleagues from across the pond for their race. I think they're really looking forward to it, considering they've just seen EU2 had rain. The next European action is on Thursday. That'll be EU1 hosted and commentated by myself whilst I'm out of action for racing. Hopefully I can drag a special co-coms in for an appearance. And they also, same time as the EU2, 9 p.m. UK time on a Thursday. That's 10 p.m. Central European time. That is also 4 p.m. Eastern for our American colleagues that want to join us. I know there is a couple that have done, so you're more than welcome to. When the stream finishes, it will be on the Twitch channel and then later uploaded to YouTube. Discord link has been put in the chat, X and all those other jazzy things. There is loads of spaces for full time and just for reserve drivers if you want to join us from both the European side of things, but I believe from the American side of things as well. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you on Thursday. Goodbye.